Coming up, mapping out South Dakota's budget, where Governor Noem wants to place priorities in the next year.
Plus, we talk with the Sioux Falls business about whether customers are following the city's mask mandate. Good morning, this is KOTG on the go with all you need to know in news and weather as you start your day.
South Dakota is in fiscally good shape as we get ready to head into the next year. That's according to Governor Kristi Noem, who outlined her budget address to lawmakers on Tuesday.
She says South Dakota is entering 2021 in one of the strongest financial positions in the country.
When the virus first hit, every state's economy shrunk, but South Dakota overcame that quickly. We closed the 2020 budget year in June with a $19 million surplus, and our general fund revenues are up by 19.4% right now compared to the same time last year.
Her budget also calls for a 2.4% increase in state aid to education and 2.4% increase to state salaries. We also caught up with a couple of lawmakers to get their take on the governor's address yesterday.
We would like to see a 3% across the board increase for teacher pay, for state employees, for community support providers. We're concerned about just the numbers of people that have been uninsured, unable to get unemployment insurance, and to see enhancements in that program.
Due to our governor's leadership, our economy is good, our people are healthy, and our people have retained freedom.
To read the governor's entire budget proposal, we've posted online under this story at KELOLAND.com.
Developing overnight, the U.S. Geological Survey is reporting a 3.2 magnitude earthquake near Bowdle, South Dakota. The report says it happened around midnight. There have been no reports of damage at this time. According to the USGS, damage doesn't usually occur until the earthquake magnitude reaches somewhere above 4 or 5. Turning to weather now, warm temps are continuing here in KELOLAND.
Let's see if there's a cool down on the way with meteorologist Scott Munt. Good morning, Scott.
Well, good morning, you two. We'll go with one more mild day. Temperatures in the 50s and 60s this afternoon with mostly sunny skies. There's still a chance that we may have a couple of areas tie or set records today. Otherwise, turning cooler after today as temperatures will try to retreat closer to average by the time we get into, well, maybe this weekend and into next week. And we'll have to introduce or entertain that chance for snow from time to time. But the moisture right now is very limited. But we'll continue to watch things. More details on the KELOLAND Live Doppler forecast with Brian Karstens coming up.
Thanks, Scott. On Monday, Mayor Paul Tenhaken said businesses are seeing about a 70 to 80% compliance with the city's mask mandate. At Sticks and Steel in downtown Sioux Falls, owner Terry Schuver says customers are wearing masks.
She estimates it's closer to 99% compliance at her store.
People just read our request and they comply, and we haven't had anybody complain, and we really haven't had any issues at all.
She says she appreciates that shoppers are willing to take the steps to keep each other safe. While an extension to the mask mandate in Sioux Falls moves to a second reading, Rapid City's mayor is moving forward without one. Mayor Steve Allender says we now have to look forward to.
Certainly one of the most frustrating years of my life in public service, and but we have to look forward. There will be an end to this pandemic someday. The question is, what kind of damage will it leave behind, and how will the fabric of our very communities be altered because of the way we've treated each other during this whole thing.
Allender says he's disappointed in the process and that efforts to protect the community from the virus have failed.
Never before has there been such a demand for substitute teachers. The Sioux Falls School District has more than 1,800 teachers. On any given day, around 250 staff members may be unable to work because of the pandemic.
From infections to exposures to exhaustion and other illnesses, filling in classroom spots has become a major challenge. District leaders tell us the goal is to keep kids in class and keep them learning. To do that, the district needs to enforce a small army of substitute teachers.
We are gearing up here for second semester. We would love to bring more individuals from our community into our schools as substitute staff. You can look at being a substitute teacher, or if you're not sure you want to be the head of the classroom, we also look for substitute education assistants, where you're filling in more of that support role.
Substitute teachers are paid $125 to $140 a day. You can apply on the school district website. An initiative that launched this summer is making a difference for kids and their families. It's called KidLink, and it's being facilitated by Sioux Falls Thrive.
From homework help to free food, it's a way to bring a variety of programs to one spot in the Riverside neighborhood.
This neighborhood is one that has struggled with a lot of poverty and just in general is a community that is in need. And so the goal really is to look at that neighborhood and say, you know, how are we going to transform that? How are we going to make that a place where the kids have their needs met, families have the things that they need to be successful?
KidLink happens from 5 to 6 on Tuesday nights at Sermon on the Mount Mennonite Church. The plan is to expand KidLink to more neighborhoods in the future. And that's a look at some of our top stories.
Now let's get one last look at your weather with meteorologist Brian Karstens. Brian?
All right, well, a few changes are coming in our forecast. First of all, tomorrow the wind will pick up, and this is a snapshot at 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. I would say borderline breezy, windy weather at times with 15 to 30 mile an hour winds, pretty common here. And of course, that is going to usher in some cooler weather. We're trying to idle back closer to normal this time of year, and that would mean highs more in the 30s. But tomorrow we're still in the 40s for most of us. Now let's look at the weather maps here as we kind of look upon the landscape on Futurecast. And today we've got actually a pretty light wind field across most of South Dakota. But once we get this frontal boundary to move through late tonight, it will pick up that wind and also a batch of some cloud cover. Then for the start of the weekend, at least into Friday, Saturday, there is a storm system to our south. It will produce snow, Colorado, into Kansas, maybe Nebraska. But the collection of odds here as we look at the data points on this thing, mainly south. So if you're looking for snow, anything just to look a little bit like Christmas, it's not quite here yet. North winds may be just too dry to allow any moisture to fall here in Kettleland. But we'll watch next week. At least things are beginning to pick up a little bit on that long range. This is a fun graphic. What are the odds of an inch of snow between now and Christmas Eve? Well, the odds aren't too bad. But as Scott mentioned earlier today, well, depends on how it all falls. And obviously, we've got warmer than normal temperatures, too. We're in the 50s today out there in Sioux Falls, 58, 55 Mobridge. 7-day forecast does cool a little bit by the start of the weekend. But in the 7-day block, we're going to keep it dry. No mention of rain or snow yet. Aberdeen also looks dry at this point. 30s for highs for Friday. 34, so that's certainly cooling down. And Pierre in central South Dakota also looking at lower to middle 30s to start the weekend, but we could easily get back in the 40s by maybe Sunday and Monday. And Rapid City also warming up with highs in the 40s by early next week. Check out our Storm Center update for more details and have yourself a great day.